Well, welcome to Coffee with Job on Friday morning. Now, yesterday we saw Job rather, answering his friends by saying, surely you are the people and wisdom will die with you. And he then goes on to talk about how wisdom is found in nature. And then he says this about God, verse 13 of chapter 12. To God belong wisdom and power. Counsel and understanding are his. What he tears down cannot be rebuilt. Those he imprisons cannot be released. If he hold back the waters, there is drought. If he lets them loose, they devastate the land. To him belongs strength and insight. Both deceived and deceiver are his. Now, Job's talking about God's sovereign power in nature. In his hand is the life of every creature, including our life. Nature can teach us. All created things can teach us that whatever is done by God. I remember trying to be an atheist, and I lived in the Highlands of Scotland, Easter Ross, overlooking Nig Cliffs in a place called Castle Craig. And I desperately wanted to be an atheist, but every time I looked out over the cliffs and saw the Murray Firth, and quite often you'd see dolphins, you'd see such great beauty. And it was like asking me to look at a painting and say there was no artist. It was just really extraordinary. I mean, I'd been taking these photographs of flowers and it just amazes me. I mean, just look at the colour. I mean, we don't believe in a utilitarian God. We see his power, his eternal power. It's like, again, going back up to Easter Ross, I'd look across the cliffs and you could see Cromarty. And there was a man there called Hugh Miller, who is a remarkable man and one of the founding fathers of modern geology. And he wrote a book called The Testimony of the Rocks, that the rocks testify to the glory of God. Or I think of the microbiologist who, in the smallest of things, sees God's design. Or the astrophysicist who, in the greatest of things, sees God's design. For me, walking on St. Cyrus Beach in Scotland, going up Glendall, driving up the A9, or here in Sydney, just the Botanic Gardens, just walking all around this area, the wonderful bush, and I've only scratched the surface of this extraordinary country. But Job is also puzzled by God's power in nature. He restrains life-giving water and sends destructive torrents. I think we're talking a lot about climate change as though we are in control of it all. There's no question that what we do affects things, but the one who's in control of it all is God. He then goes on to say this, and maybe our rulers need to learn this. They need to learn the second bit especially. He leads rulers away stripped and makes fools of judges. He takes off the shackles put on by kings and ties a loincloth round their waist. He leads priests away stripped and overthrows officials long established. He silences the lips of trusted advisers and takes away the discernment of elders. He pours contempt on nobles and disarms the mighty. He reveals the deep things of darkness and brings utter darkness into the light. He makes nations great and destroys them. He enlarges nations and disperses them. He deprives the leaders of the earth of their reason. He makes them wander in a trackless waste. They grope in darkness with no light. He makes them stagger like drunkards. Just wow. Even the mightiest rulers in this world, are you listening, President Biden, Xi Jinping, Boris Johnson, Scott Morrison? Well, I know Scott Morrison's listening. Even the mightiest rulers in this world, they're puny in comparison with God. God takes away understanding, deprives leaders of speech and discernment, brings darkness to them. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, he first makes mad. Well, doesn't that describe so many of our leaders and elites today? Job is really saying there seems to be no plan in history. You have great empires, but they rise and fall. So where does that leave us at the end of this week? Job grasped that God is almighty, all-wise, all-knowing, and all-powerful. His friends would not deny that. What they said was common knowledge. The big problem was, how does that apply to Job? They have a simplistic view. If you've done wrong, you'll be punished by this God. If you're experiencing hardship, then it's because you're sinful. But this all-wise, all-knowing, all-powerful God, where is that wisdom found? In Colossians, we're told, all of God's wisdom is found in Jesus Christ. That's what we're about. And we learn that and discover that through knowing Jesus. Okay. I will see you again on Monday. You're welcome to join us on Sunday for when we do the Romans 8 again, the Romans 8 Road to Hope. But again, as I said before, if you've got any questions, please feel free, or any comments, please feel free to make them to let me know. But God bless you. Have a great weekend. And remember that the all-powerful, all-knowing God is the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Bye.